Well, hello, friends. Welcome back to another episode of Sports with Betz. I am your host, Betz, and all my homies hate ESPN and Disney. All of them. Everybody should hate ESPN and Disney. We're going to get to that here in a moment. Real quick, start the show the same way every single week. Wanted to thank you guys for sharing the show. I've had a few new listeners and some new people engaging, not only in the comments, but on social media and whatnot. And that's just really cool to see. It's awesome to see that, that view count, that listen count increasing every single week. Please, just as a reminder, if you listen to this, if you took the time out of your day to listen to this, if you got any value out of it, please think of the person who you know that loves sports or particularly loves football more than anybody, and please share the show with them. Just if you get any value out of this, please continue to share the show. I love doing this. It's super fun. We're growing the audience every single week. That's a blast. And I want to keep doing it. Want to keep growing. So if you get anything from today's episode, please share the show. Going back to what I was saying before, what on earth? ESPN and Disney? Are you kidding me? You don't have enough money? I mean, look, there's a trend going on right now in the United States of America where it is really, really cool to hate billionaires and hate corporations. I usually keep my mouth shut about that type of stuff. I don't know what the right answer is. I don't know if that's the correct thing, but I can tell you right now, I'm starting to see what all the hype is about of hating on people who are super, super rich. I mean, let's just think about this for a second. Disney is one of the largest corporations in the world. And I don't know. I mean, I know that Disney's earnings, I'm not going to pretend like I'm an expert specifically on Disney. I don't own any Disney stock or anything like that, but I think that their earnings are down just a little bit. I think that attendance in the parks is down. I think that all the superhero movies and the stuff that they have invested in, and even the new animated movies, are just kind of trash recently. So I don't know if Disney is hurting or ESPN is hurting. It doesn't appear that way. It appears that they are massive corporations who are trying to gouge money out of the average consumer. Before the season started, we saw all of those graphics and memes and whatever showing how much money you have to spend in order to just watch football this year. I mean, let's go through it. You have to have either like YouTube TV or some sort of cable or direct TV, some sort of base channel viewing package. Then you have to have Prime Video to watch the Thursday night football games. You have to have, if you want to watch your favorite team play every single week, you have to have a league pass. I mean, we're talking hundreds of dollars a month just to watch your favorite team. Red Zone is an additional fee, which I gladly pay for, but it's kind of like, it just feels like bullshit, like just price gouging. And then on top of that, Disney claims that they couldn't reach an agreement with YouTube TV, and therefore we're forced to pull ABC, ESPN, Disney channels, and I think National Geographic and something else that nobody watches or cares about. I don't understand if you are Disney in the day and age, in 2025, ESPN, it's 2025. You're a massive corporation and the average person probably already hates you. And your response to that hatred is to withhold your product from another massive corporation, which is Google, YouTube TV, and therefore pass that additional fee and that cost on to the consumer. It sounds like what ESPN or Disney said is that YouTube TV, they couldn't come to an agreement, and so therefore they were forced to pull their channels. YouTube TV is saying same thing. It just sounds like inevitably Disney / ESPN was asking for more money than YouTube TV was willing to give them. YouTube TV is going to eventually bend the knee because we have already been without football for, a full weekend slate of college football and pro football, and then Monday Night Football. Today's Tuesday, so we missed Monday Night Football last night. I mean, this whole situation just has my blood boiling. I am a YouTube TV subscriber, and I was even more pissed. I told you guys earlier in the year that my my old friend crack streams and meth streams were pulled and have been disabled. So I was shit out of luck on Monday night. I mean, I wanted to watch. It wasn't a great game, but it was football was on Monday night. It's my tradition. I get home and I look forward to watching football every Monday night, and I couldn't do it. I even tried to find it on some back end streaming sites, and I couldn't find it. So inevitably, I know that the extra cost or whatever the contract negotiation that Disney or ESPN is trying to negotiate right now, they're going to get more money. YouTube TV is going to bend the knee because they've already missed out on a bunch of primetime slots, and ultimately the end user is going to recoup those costs. That our subscriptions, our YouTube TV subscriptions are going to go up, or ESPN is going to just make people join their whatever it is, ESPN Unlimited, which I don't even know what that is. I don't know. The thing that is just such bullshit is I have a Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN Plus membership that's all like bundled together. So I thought, oh, well, I'll be all right. I can just watch it on ESPN Plus. Nope. There's another tier. You need ESPN Unlimited now to be able to watch Monday Night Football and primetime, games. I don't know. This might be the thing that finally starts a revolution in this country. I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing? I mean, there's already... All right, I need to relax. I need to take a step back. I was just about to go on a political rant. I'm gonna give you the censored version of the political rant, is that this could start a revolution. There's already tension between the working class and the elites. We hear about it all the time. Doesn't matter what side, left or right, whatever side you are, whatever your political ideologies are. There is a tension, and there has been buildup between the tippy top and the average Joe. And this could be it. You take football from us, we might have to storm the Capitol or storm Disney ESPN Plus headquarters because of this. This is crazy. So hopefully they get a resolution by this weekend. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I might have to find another illegal. Not illegal. I'm not gonna say it's illegal. I'm gonna find another back end streaming site and maybe just cancel all my subscriptions and go everything on the deep web, and not pay for a damn thing anymore, because I'm sick of being taken advantage of. So yeah, hopefully we get this thing resolved here pretty soon. Speaking of Monday Night Football, I didn't watch a minute of it. I really didn't. I watched some highlights of it on Twitter. I caught, like, when I was just scrolling on TikTok, BSing on my phone Monday night, I saw someone had a live stream going that there was multiple thousands of people tuning in for, because I'm assuming that's the only way they could watch Monday Night Football. But hey, you know what? On a positive note here for the Arizona Cardinals, Jacoby Brissett might be the truth, man. Hey, Jacoby Brissett, he's not afraid to sling the ball. His stats look a lot better than Kyler Murray's. I mean, Jacoby Brissett. Is there quarterback controversy in Arizona right now? I think there might be. That's really, really interesting to me. That would be a lot of fun if we had Jacoby Brissett in, as a starter for the rest of the season, and maybe even have the Cardinals make a run. Now, that being said, Dallas, they're a very fun team. I actually covered Dallas before in the preseason. Did a little preview on them on how they were going to be one of the most fun teams in the NFL. Turns out I was correct on that, with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens and Dak Prescott, and a little bit of Bazooka Joe Milton sprinkled in there. But I was looking, we kind of got fooled in thinking that Dallas might be at least a competent or somewhat of a decent team. Then I went and looked back in their schedule. So their wins currently are against the Giants with Russell Wilson, the Jets, and the Commanders with no Scary Terry or Deebo Samuel playing that day. So the Cowboys very well could just be absolute ass. I mean, I don't know. I'm giving Jacoby Brissett credit for that win, but they could just be, I don't know, Cowboys could be terrible. They could be a horrible football team. And their defense is so bad. I mean, how dumb does Jerry look now, trading away Micah Parsons? I mean, Dak Prescott is putting up crazy numbers. Like if they had a decent, somewhat competent defense, Dak Prescott would probably be in the MVP conversation if he isn't already. So that trade is not looking very good for Jerry. I'm sure the Cowboys are wishing that they had a guy like Micah Parsons right now. But in any event, Jacoby Brissett. Let's keep an eye. Let's keep talking about Jacoby Brissett. If anything, he's a funny player. I can't, I see him in the Cardinals jersey and I look back and I'm like, man, I remember this dude in a New England Patriots jersey, and he's been all over the place, and he's just a goofy player to watch. Something that was horrible that I did catch on Sunday was the Jaden Daniels injury. Also made me think that the Caleb curse is a little bit more real. 3 players I gave in a preview preseason that I was really excited to watch were Malik Neighbors, Cam Scattaboo, and Jaden Daniels. I'm not going to name the rest of that list and just try to spare those guys of any injuries, but man, I've never seen someone's arm bend backwards and break in 4K like that. I mean, he's already so skinny and he's so bony. It just looked like you could see exactly what his bones were doing, exactly what his skeleton was doing, unfortunately. And that elbow looked freaking nasty. Hey, thought right here. Commanders, if you don't want to throw away the whole season, Arizona Cardinals might be looking to get rid of Kyler Murray, because Kyler Murray, the more I watch Kyler Murray, the less I like Kyler Murray. I mean, he is just not very good at playing quarterback. He would be like an awesome slot receiver, maybe. He's really, really good at running the ball and scrambling. I would love to watch Kyler Murray be a punt returner. Can you imagine Kyler Murray returning punts or kicks? That would be sick. But anyway, with Jacoby Brissett winning football games and putting up better stats than Kyler, Commanders, maybe you ship Kyler Murray, or Cardinals rather, maybe you ship Kyler Murray over to the Commanders or somehow. That would be a lot of fun. Now that I'm saying that, I realize that the trade deadline is today and that won't happen, but hey, a man can dream. So that was brutal, that Jaden Daniels injury. I hope he recovers quickly. I saw some stuff today that maybe not out for the season. When this comes out, I'm planning on posting this on Wednesday morning. Things could change, but Jaden Daniels might be able to make a recovery this year, but you never know. Speaking of other injuries, my boy, Patrick Mahomes, Dylan Raiola out for the season. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. I was at the game Saturday in Lincoln against USC. I mean, this has to be some of the highest vibes, one of the best atmospheres of any football game, any sporting event I've ever been to. It was absolutely electric. The Blackout was just spectacular. I mean, Husker fans, give yourselves a round of applause, pat yourselves on the back. We understood the assignment. We went all out. We were dressed in all black. It was so sick. And the balloons were dope. I mean, if you guys didn't catch it, go look up some videos from the Nebraska home game on Saturday against USC, the Blackout. It was incredible. And to start the game, I went with my parents and my dad. Shout out Bobby B. He was wearing a T-shirt that said, "We almost always almost win." I think that was a Scott Frost era T-shirt. If you're from Nebraska, that was a pretty popular T-shirt at one point. You guys should remember that. And I almost, I almost was making fun of him or giving him shit for wearing that T-shirt. And then of course it happens. I mean, I can't explain this, where we've got the lead. We were commanding the game. The first half was all Nebraska. And it was still somewhat close. Like, I think it was a 1-score game at half, but still, if you were there and you felt the energy, it felt like USC was dead. It felt like all Nebraska. And then I can't even explain this. And I was so conscious of this and so aware of it in the moment that you could feel in the third quarter, even when Nebraska was still winning, when we still had the lead, you could feel the energy start to get sucked out of the building, and you could feel like we've seen the ending of this movie before. We know what's going to happen. We absolutely know what's going to happen. And I mean, yeah, mid-third quarter, then Raiola goes down. TJ Lateef goes in, and a lot of people were excited about TJ, and I'm somewhat excited about TJ, but he's not Dylan. Dylan proved himself to me early in the season, and he's clearly the best quarterback, and I think one of the best quarterbacks in the country. But yes, as soon as Raiola went down and Lateef came in, it was over, and every single person in that stadium knew that it was over. It was terrible. Yeah, USC ends up doing what they do, come back and win, and it was just such a high and such a low in Memorial Stadium this weekend. And then the news comes out the next morning that Raiola breaks his tibia, whatever one it was. And he's out for the season as well. And we're stuck with TJ Lateef for the rest of the year. So hopefully that's not the last snap we've ever seen Dylan Raiola take in a Husker uniform. That is definitely a concern with the transfer portal. I can't really explain it, but he just seems like a transfer portal type of guy. Does anybody else get that vibe? Like, he just really feels like it. He's like a 5-star guy, one of the highest recruits, has had this reputation as one of the best quarterback recruits in the last several years. He just feels like a transfer portal type of guy. And the fact that he got sacked and injured, that could be his justification for leaving the Big Red if they can't continue to protect him. So we'll see what happens. We'll continue to monitor that situation. I just am starting to think maybe just being a fan of a specific team in football is not the right decision for me ever. I talked about it a little bit earlier that the trade deadline was today. I'm recording this now Tuesday evening. And Titans didn't really make a single move. So the current state is I've got Mike McCoy as my Titans interim head coach because we fired our other head coach after firing the head coach before him, who the head coach before him was really good, and Mike Vrabel. And then we hired Brian Callahan. He went 4-19, and then he got fired. And now we've got Mike McCoy running the Wildcat formation. What are you doing, Mike McCoy? Okay, I need to settle down. I need to stop this because this is boring. I just assume nobody wants to hear me talk about the Huskers or the Titans because they're both dead and they both suck and the season's over and there's no reason in talking about these two teams. Why talk about something that's already dead? Don't need to worry about it. So I'm rooting for good football from this point moving forward. My own teams are totally irrelevant. I don't care about Tankathon or seeing where the Titans end up in the draft. I don't care to see that. If we're not winning football games, I don't care to watch them play football. And same thing goes with the Huskers too, that they'll make a bowl game and whatnot, but I've got tickets to the Iowa game, the last game of the season. I thought for sure, man. I was going to 3 games this year, and I thought I was going to see 3 wins. Man, we are just going to get the shit kicked out of us by Iowa at the end of the year. It's Black Friday, November 29th, 11 a.m. It's going to be cold as balls, and we are just going to absolutely get shit pumped by the Hawkeyes at home, and that's going to suck. So that being said, to cope, I'm just rooting for good football from this point forward. We did have some exciting stuff go down at the trade deadline, although my preferred team was completely inactive. Let me pull up here. We had some really exciting stuff go on. The biggest one being Sauce Gardner going from the Jets to the Colts. I think that's a pretty good move by the Colts. They gave up 2 first-rounders for him, though. I mean, that's kind of crazy. That's absolutely insane. 2 first-rounders for Sauce Gardner. I remember, what was this, a year or 2 ago, that the Ravens were entertaining trading Lamar Jackson instead of giving him a new contract because he was due a lot of money. And I think they were asking like 2 or 3 first-rounders for Lamar Jackson's, and people were like, no, I don't want to do that. And if you're the Colts, you're offering up 2 first-round picks for Sauce Gardner. I don't think you're a Sauce Gardner away from winning a championship. I'm sorry. I just don't see it that way. Maybe you are, and maybe I'll be proven wrong. I think Daniel Jones proved last week against the Steelers that he's not a perfect quarterback and that he can be really disrupted. And the old Daniel Jones, inevitably can come back. I mean, I'm going to make a prediction that I think the Colts, the best part of their season is behind them, and losing those 2 first-round picks, it doesn't really prepare you for the future. So I'm hoping that the Colts are kind of on a downward spiral now. It's kind of unfortunate for them, being in the AFC South and everything, and having the easiest division to lock up. They couldn't even get that done. So yeah, Sauce Gardner to the Colts is kind of crazy. Quinnen Williams to Dallas, that is wild. That's great move by Dallas. They needed to do that, like I was talking about before. Other things I'm excited about is I'm excited to see Rashid Shaheed. Not only is that one of the coolest names in the entire NFL, he is now on the Seahawks. So he goes from, besides the Tennessee Titans, probably the worst passing offense in the Saints, to a better, at least a much better passing offense with the Seahawks. Jackson Smith-Njigba has been one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. And so I'm just excited to see what Rashid Shaheed can do in that offense. I don't know if it's going to free up Jackson Smith-Njigba a little bit more, or if Rashid Shaheed can kind of be like a watered down version of George Pickens in Dallas, where he gets open a lot because all the eyeballs are on Jackson Smith. So we'll see. That one's really exciting. Jacoby Myers to Jacksonville. I mean, I don't know. Trevor Lawrence made a very average Calvin Ridley look decent in Jacksonville. Maybe he can do the same there. Side note, that was somebody I was really, really hoping that we were going to trade. At the trade deadline was Calvin Ridley, and now it looks like nobody wants him, so that's kind of crazy. Rest in peace to the Titans again. Keep burying them. And then the other big one that I was really excited about was Yair Alexander going to Philly. A lot of people are saying he's washed and he's, his best days are behind him, which they probably are. He played at an unbelievable level with the Packers for a couple of years, but I think he's been like a healthy scratch in a lot of games this year. But it just feels like Philly. They got Michael Carter, Yair Alexander, Jalen Phillips. I mean, they are so active at the trade deadline, and this is what a good football team does. Philadelphia Eagles, giving you your flowers here for a second. And Howie Roseman? What's his last name? Sorry, let me find his last name. Yeah, Howie Roseman. I was right. Why'd I even doubt myself? Howie, you do such a good job of taking a look at your team, assessing strengths and weaknesses, figuring out are there any strengths at the bottom of the list, or strong pieces of our roster that we could trade for a stronger piece and fill some of the holes that we have. It seems like they're constantly trying to get better and trying to improve and not settling for complacency. Versus, you look at the team that just won the Super Bowl, the best team in the league, versus the team like the Tennessee Titans, who had the number 1 overall pick last year and probably will again this year, the worst team in the NFL. They don't do anything. They don't make any positive moves, and they don't go out and they don't get talent. They traded away Roger McCreary and let me see here. Roger McCreary, and who was the other one? We had Draymond Jones go to Baltimore. So we got rid of those picks we got rid of those players in exchange for picks. And that's okay, but I mean, like, you're getting a 4th, 5th, 6th round pick instead of getting an actual player. So I wanted to give the Eagles a ton of credit there, that they're just so active. They're willing to deal for anybody and everybody, and I love to see it, and it makes me incredibly jealous. Another thing that I saw online, and I don't know if this is true or not, but let's just roll with it. I saw a report that the Giants general manager, Joe Schoen, I don't know if that's the first time I've ever said his name out loud, that he forgot or didn't realize that the trade deadline was today, November 4th. He thought it was tomorrow, November 5th, which is probably when you guys are listening to it. The report was he thought it was tomorrow, and when he found out it was today, he literally ran to his office and started to get to work. That's a fireable offense if that is true. And it's not unbelievable though. I mean, I think that you have teams. The Giants are one of them. The Jets are a great example. The Saints right now, the Titans, the Panthers historically, the Browns historically, that there just is so much incompetence within these programs that you hear a story like that and you're like, I believe that with the Giants. They had Russell Wilson starting as their quarterback this year after looking horrible for the Pittsburgh Steelers last year and getting outplayed by Justin Fields. In any event, I've said this before, and I'll say it, this won't be the last time I'll say this. There are two different types of teams in the NFL. There are teams that care about winning and having a solid product on the field. And then there are teams that view the football team as a vehicle. They look at it as just a business. This is a revenue generator for them. This is mailbox money for some ownership teams. It's a instant equity and something that you can get a solid return on your investment. Amy Adams shrunk. Sell the team. This is what we're talking about you here. So there's just a huge difference between these two different types of teams, like an Eagles or a Titans, who actually care about winning football games. So that being said, Titans got a bye week this week, so I'm just going to sit back and relax and watch some guilt-free football. It's going to be freaking awesome. Very last thing that I'll say, something that I was super right about, and hopefully you guys took my advice, was we had an all-time MLB World Series. I told everybody for the last 2-3 weeks, go watch the playoffs. Go watch some baseball. It's so much better now. If you're one of those people who thought that baseball was boring, you probably haven't watched it since they implemented a pitch clock. Next year, they're doing the robo-umps, so you'll be able to challenge bad calls, and the game will get a little bit more accurate. You won't have umpires involved as much. Mixed reviews or mixed opinions on that. But this World Series was just absolutely all time. We had some crazy stuff go on. We had the wedgie. The ball got wedged underneath the mats in the outfield, which was sick. Some people were upset about that. They thought that that was a fieldable ball. I mean, that's a ground rule double every single time. If anybody is a fan of baseball or played baseball at any level, if a ball gets stuck like that underneath the fence, it's an automatic ground rule double. Hands go up, it's over. Even though that would have been crazy way to end the game. And then they had the Dodgers had that catch at the warning track, bottom of the ninth. I think bases loaded. It was just absolutely insane. Could not have asked for a better World Series. And this makes me excited for next year. So technically 2 years ago, Sydney and I, my wife and I, we sat down and we went through the entire MLB roster, every single team in the MLB. We made a list. I crossed off all the teams that I was like, we are not being a fan of these teams. Sorry, let me back up here for a second. We decided that we wanted to pick an MLB team to be a fan of because we've never really been a fan of the team. For college football, it's always been Nebraska. Pro football, always been Tennessee Titans. NBA has always been the Memphis Grizzlies. And those have been my big three. For the MLB, we've never really had a team that we've rooted for. So made a whole list. Teams that we landed on, our top three were Chicago Cubbies, Philadelphia Phillies, and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Phillies, that was just a fun story because a couple years ago when the Phillies were in the World Series, we were on, this was 3 years ago? We were on a trip in Colorado, and it was snowing, it was freezing outside, and we ended our night every single night. We'd go back to our hotel room and put the World Series on, and the Phillies were playing. We just kind of fell in love with that Phillies team. So that's where the Phillies came from. The Dodgers, because my wife is from Southern California. Her family lived in Southern California. She still has a bunch of family there. We go down there every once in a while, and we love the LA area. My dad was stationed in Oxnard, Ventura County, close to LA. So we've got some connections with Southern California, and then the Cubbies just because they're close, and they're the Cubs. How can you not like the Cubs, kind of? So those were the three teams, and we kind of ended up being a Dodgers household. So of course it's going to make me seem like a fair weather fan saying that. I don't really feel like I can claim these World Series because literally the only 2 years that I picked the Dodgers to be my favorite team, and not really even knowing anything about the Dodgers. Like, I'm serious. I didn't follow baseball for like 10 years and then just came back into it and started, picked the Dodgers very, very luckily. But so next year, I think, is going to be my first year where I actually claim the Dodgers as my favorite baseball team. Well, so this is great. Somebody clip this or make a note of this. This could be great Caleb Curse territory if I claim the Dodgers for the first time and they end up just absolutely sucking after that. So, yeah, we'll see. Watch baseball. It's fun. I'm excited to watch a full season next year with the team in mind. So that's it. That's all I got for you guys today. I love you all. Please share the show. Please continue to comment. Let me know in the comments if there's anything that I missed or if there's anything that you'd like me to talk about in the future. I'm thinking I need to do some fantasy football stuff here in the future. Let me know if you guys agree with that. And yeah, until next time, I love you all. And oh yeah, by the way, fuck Disney, fuck ESPN.